Some time ago, I made a product photography video about Midjourney. In that video, many of you asked a crucial question. How can I incorporate my own product, logo, or brand into these AI-generated scenes? Unfortunately, I didn't have a clear solution to this important problem within the boundaries of AI, except for Photoshop smart objects or some paid tools due to Midjourney's limitations. However, I'm happy to share that now I have a solution for you using Flux LoRA. Imagine AI-generated models wearing or holding your merchandise complete with your logos and illustrations, ready to use on Instagram posts. In this video, I will show you how to train a Flux LoRA with your own products using our imaginary cyber jungle merchandise. First up, I will guide you through adding your products to AI-generated scenes, creating eye-catching visuals perfect for e-commerce. In the final section, we'll explore tips and tricks to utilize Runway Gen 3's image-to-video feature for crafting cinematic product ad videos. We will use visual effects using Runway to enrich your brand story without a massive budget. Let's jump into the tutorial. In order to train a Flux LoRA, we will need 3 or 4 images of a product. This can be a t-shirt, a hoodie, or a face cream with your logo or illustration on it. This is a crucial step. So if you already have a product line and if you have photos of your merchandise taken from different perspectives, that's already a huge step. You are already halfway done. To create very interesting photo shooting setups in a variety of locations with AI-generated models, now in this example, I don't have a merchandise collection. So first, I will design my merchandise. In order to do that, I tried to train a Flux LoRA with my logo on it. You can see with multiple different colors, some close by, some smaller. I had also one version with a transparent PNG logo. And after training this LoRA, I tried with this prompt, the cinematic photo wide angle shot, black female model wearing a black hoodie with green and red cyber jungle brand on it. Unfortunately, in my tests, this didn't really work out well. I'm not really recommending this method because it was very difficult to train a typeface properly, especially if you have this so many curves and so many different fonts. So this really didn't work out well. So I realized I needed an alternative method. So I needed to train my Flux LoRA with products where my logo was on it, something like this. And this required for me to using some mockups. So I had 2 options. One is, as you know, you can use Photoshop smart objects and you can simply add your logo to any product mockup you can find online. And for this job, I use Freepik, and you can see I used it with a free account. You can easily change color of your hoodie, and you can very simply add an element, and using this mask, you can see the changes happening here. Like this, for example, it's a huge one, maybe a little bit smaller, right? You can arrange it however you want. It's also very easy to change color of things. You can make it black, for example. You can change color of lace, stitches. It's super easy to design something. You need images of a couple of these hoodies, ideally from different perspectives. In the free account, you are not allowed to use these images because you need a premium account in order to have commercial license. So this is something that you need to be aware of. Because of this commercial license issue, I needed to purchase a premium account. If you can find free alternatives, also let me know in the comments down below. Once you have these images, now we can switch to training our Flux LoRA step. Actually, I showed you this before, so I won't go into the details. I'm still using Replicate's Flux LoRA Trainer. There are now so many options online. Since I made the first time this video, we can find variety of options, variety of trainers, and of course local options as well. You can use Comfy UI. I like to use this option because it's just very simple for my taste. You know the drill. You create a new model, right? I already created one, and you add your input images. So I upscaled my hoodie mockups and I named them with photo of Cyber Jungle hoodie, you can see. And then I compressed them to a single zip file, and this is what I'm uploading to system here. So you choose your trigger words, write something unique, Cyber Jungle hoodie. I recommend adding an auto caption, photo of Cyber Jungle hoodie. And since we have only 3-4 images, you may consider adding more steps. The 1000 will be also enough. To be honest, I used always 1000. And if you add more steps, then it will take longer to train. Once you have the model trained, you can write this prompt as simple as fashion photography. A black female model is wearing black cyber jungle hoodie, our trigger word, with red and green cyber jungle brand is written on it. Here, studio lighting, high fashion shot. So then simply you can start to generate unlimited amount of images in a very interesting scenes that you can use it in your own product photography. Here's another one, this time black and white logo on it. And here's another one where our model is actually posing in the jungle. And that's the advantage of training with Flux LoRA. It gives you the option to, go more creative instead of just static, simple mockups. You can generate any scene you want. And it will create eye-catching, beautiful photo shoots. So I did exactly the same for a t-shirt merchandise. For t-shirt, actually this time I used an illustration, the illustration of the channel. And again, I use Freepik for these mockups. Here you can see another mockup. I have also this shot and this shot as well. Again, same drill. I upscaled my images with the t-shirts. And additionally, I also added 3 times the illustration itself to the training data. So I think this is a very crucial step for proper training, additional to the illustration on the t-shirts. So once you have your training ready, you can start generating unlimited amount of images with different scenery, with different models and different setups, but with your own illustration on the t-shirt. You can also change color of t-shirt and you can create photo shooting with your own merchandise where AI models are wearing your merchandise. And it opens up really many possibilities. And by the way, here's a Cyber Jungle hoodie worn by a gorilla, because why not? For the next example, we will create some physical products instead of something which can be wearable. So we will create some gummy bears. And I'm calling this Cyber Jungle Yummies. Probably not the best name and also not the best branding, but it will be sufficient for our tutorial purposes. So I created 3 mockup images that I will feed into Flux LoRA training, and then you will be able to create more shots and models holding this physical product. And this will open up some interesting possibilities for us visually. So in the training data, additional to the mockups that I created, I also added the branding itself and also 1 photo with gummy bears, because you may realize that the candies inside the jar are not gummy bears. Unfortunately, this is the best mockup I could find online. After ensuring that we also properly named and captioned our images, I went to the Flux LoRA Trainer and trained a model called Cyber Jungle Yummies. And as you can see, we got some pretty interesting results. Here I have this prompt, a high fashion photography. We have a portrait of a woman and also a cat, and she's holding Cyber Jungle Yummies jar with colorful gummy bears inside the jar, and the product is in the center of the image. So as you can see, it's not enough to just write your trigger word. You also need to specify some details and add a little bit more, let's say, context. And we have our branding also visible. Here's another shot, first person view. The subject is holding our physical product. Now, you may realize that it can be some occasional issues with the text. Of course, it's not perfect. So you may see some spilling of the color changes, the text changes and things like that. You can fix these things in the post-production using Photoshop and tools like that, or simply reroll, and one of the rerolls will be sufficient for your needs. You can potentially also increase the guidance to ensure that your prompt will be accurately reflected. And of course, this means sacrificing from realism, but using upscaling tools, you can balance that up. And once you have the composition, you can actually make it realistic again using upscaling tools like Magnific or Topaz or any other tool. So here's another example. We have a shark trying to bite our merchandise, looking very adorable. And as you realize, we are starting with the photography type, and we have our subject, we have our trigger words, and we are describing what kind of composition we want to have in which background. And we are also adding a slightly tilted perspective to create this kind of like advertising poster vibe. Here's another one. We have a monkey holding our gummy bears in a rustic kitchen. We have another example here with a jungle waterfall and some lemon slices and a bit of a mint. So sky is the limit. Once you have your product trained with Flux LoRA, you can have pretty much any setup you want. Here's another one with some interesting lightning, and we have a bit of an issue here with the text, which can easily be removed with Photoshop generative fill or any kind of retouch option. Actually, I can show you one. I can show you one from Freepik. I think many people don't know about this. And I mentioned a lot today about Freepik, so this is not a paid partnership or anything, and I have no association with this brand. But as I said, it's about solving your issues. So when you go to retouch and when you drag and drop your image, you will have brush mode and you can change the brush size, select the unwanted text that we don't want to have. And when you leave the prompt empty, you will see very quickly it will remove it for you and it will fill it up with a nice contextual background and it will look fine. Next thing I want to show you is a Runway feature, which I believe is a little bit underrated, and I didn't see much videos about this online. It's called Try Custom Elements, and when you click on it, you can see you have three options: custom character creation, custom style, and custom object. This is simply means by adding some images to Runway website, we can train a model on specific objects, on characters or style for improved consistency over shots. For our example today, we will choose custom object. So once we train our model, we will be able to prompt and create consistent images with the same product being shown consistently. Let me show you. We click on Create Generator. So if you read the guidelines, it asks you to have minimum 15 images. With the Cyber Jungle Yummies, I don't have that many images, but I will cheat by using duplicate of some of the images. So I prepared this Runway custom training folder, and I have these images that I created before. And since I don't have 15 of them, I will just duplicate them. And this should do the job. And of course, ideally, you need to have same product from different perspective. Well, when product is being held by someone in front of a simple background or in a more complex background, the close-ups, medium shots, and wide-angle shots. So if you're going to use this like professionally or for client work, probably duplicating images won't be enough. But for our example today, I think we can use this. So I go back to Runway Custom Object Trainer. I click on Upload here, and I choose my custom training folder, all images here, and I add them. So it starts uploading all of my images, and once the 15 images were uploaded, next button becomes available. So I hit next. But this is actually equivalent of trigger word we are using on Replicate while training Flux LoRA. I will write here Cyber Jungle Yummies as a trigger word, and I hit. And this is important because, as you know, we are using this trigger word in our custom prompts to basically trigger the model that we are training right now. I hit next. It says one free training included with plans. Okay, so we can train one free model. And I hit train custom object free. Then training starts. You can see it adds the object tag. So as you can see, training starts, and it also adds the object label here because we are training a custom object. So our training is ready. It took around 35 minutes, and let's use this. So I choose 2K resolution, 16:9. We have quite a lot of style. I choose advertising. I would like to have 4 outputs. So I wrote this prompt: product photography of Cyber Jungle Yummies jar is on the beach sand in a tropical location with ocean background in a sunny day. Okay. You can also enhance your text prompt, but I think this time I will just leave it as it is. This prompt will produce 4 images, and I will hit generate. So my results are ready. It kind of got the product shot right, but the branding is off, except only this one that can be actually usable. And in this one, I have the color change of the first word, but this can be usable. I'm going to choose this and open this image in the video mode. And it adds my image here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to write prompt, the camera zooms out. And I will create this nice smooth zooming out effect. And then we will also add some visual effects to our video. The camera zooms out for 10 seconds and I choose this as a first frame. And we will start from here. Video generation is in progress. So generation is ready. Oh, this is one giant lemon there. Well, it's an interesting shot, but it will be fine. I will also use this to show you the extend feature. So we will continue zooming out using extend, and you can extend up to 40 seconds. So you can extend multiple times, continue zooming out. I will write the same prompt, camera, and I will extend for another 5 seconds. Let's see the final output. Yeah, it's quite okay. So it's a cool shot. It's a smooth zooming out. And also it shows some more fruits and it's a really fruity shot. Now we saw the extend feature. Product advertising is a little different than creating a narrative AI film or trailer. In advertising, you have a very limited time to take attention of the viewer and attract them. And that's why we need eye-catching visual effects and fast-moving frames for our product. Also, we need slow motion sometimes to really showcase the details of our product with close-up shots. So in the next example, I will use one of the existing images we created and upscaled. And I will show you some visual effects that how we can actually make them more eye-catching. So first shot is this shark image, which is really incredible. And for this one, actually, I would like to have a static camera and natural movement, because if possible, I want to see the natural movement of shark, and jar is kind of like just drifting there. And I will use this as a first shot. With the 5 seconds video, let's hit generate. Our generation is ready. Let's play it. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one for sure. But yeah, it's advertising, right? It needs to be eye-catching. Okay, now I want to use another image. I will use this image as the last frame, and I will have a static camera. And I want gummies to fly inwards into the jar, and then lid closes. So the last shot will look like this, but we want gummies to basically fly inside the jar and then lid to be closed. Let's hit generate. Let's see the end result. Well, yeah, it struggled with lid of the jar, but as weird as it looks, it can be used. I would probably re-roll if it is a client work, but for now, I think it's fine. And we can do more with this last frame. For example, with keeping the last frame as this one, I wrote this prompt that sadness disappears, a smile forms, the person reaches for a jar full of delicious gummies. And this is gonna be the last frame. Let's hit generate. All right, let's see what we created here. The shot itself is usable, but not exactly what we wanted. Here's another prompt with static camera. And this time we are using this as a first frame. Gummies explode in slow motion, revealing a burst of colorful jungle flora and fauna. All right, let's watch the clip. It's a strange explosion. It kinda, the brand disappears and dissolves into this cool effect. I mean, I like it. Maybe it's not like professional level, but it is definitely eye-catching and interesting. Okay, I'm using this image. So I have this prompt, slow motion shot. Gummies erupt from the jar, swirling and taking the shape of an ape, a wolf, a fox, and a flamingo, my favorite animals. And this is gonna be, again, the first frame. Let's hit generate. Let's watch the clip. Yeah, I mean, it's like a bit deformed looking animals. It's a really strange shot, I need to say. One of the weirdest I ever generated in my life. Okay, what would happen if this is last frame? Let's try with last frame this time. All right, let's see this clip. I mean, it has nothing to do with my prompt, but it's a cool shot. So here we have another prompt with last frame again. The camera slowly zooms in, empty glass jar, gummies slowly materialize inside the jar with perfect detail, intricate details of gummies. And we should end up with this last frame here. Let's hit generate. All right, let's see this one. It's a quite weird shot. It's almost like jar is acting like a magnet, pulling in everything. Quite funny. I created 2 more videos. I changed the image, and in the first one I used this as a last frame, and in this one I used it as a first frame, and I had the prompt, the natural movement of water. You can see when it was the last frame, it kind of filled up the jar with water, which is not what we want. We don't want to sell people a jar full of wet gummy bears. So this looked kind of more cinematic and more advertising-like, especially the second part of the film that can be used. And I wrote another prompt, slow motion explosion of gummies outward from the jar. And we have the full colorful gummies. Let's generate this one. Let's see what we got. I mean, I wanted more the explosion of gummies from the jar. We can work with this. Yeah, I want to try more of these gravity-related effects. So I wrote this prompt. A jar full of gummies sits on the table as the camera circles around it. Suddenly, gummies launch themselves out of the jar in a colorful explosion defying gravity. Let's try this prompt and see what we will get. I mean, looking at the end result, maybe I should also add suddenly lid opens and the gummies launch themselves out from the jar. I think maybe I should specify the lid part. Here's another example. The camera slowly zooms in, the jar overflowing with gummies. The gummies begin to glow, emitting a magical aura. And we will use the first frame. And while this is generating, I will use another one. Gummies start appearing one by one as if by magic until the jar is full. And we will use last frame for this prompt because we want to end up with this shot here. Let's also generate this. So first shot is here. Okay, it's definitely not what I wanted. The camera zoom in is not here. I mean, the glow is here, but rest of the prompt is not really here. Let's see this one. Okay, this shot is quite good. So I was more maybe expecting like this one by one appearing effect instead of just this like bulk appear, but this is a good shot and I'm happy with the result here. Okay, with this jar, lastly, I want to try a hand opens. I want to start with static camera. A hand opens the jar and pulls out a glowing gummy. And we have the first frame here. All right. Here we have a hand. Ooh, okay. All right. This really didn't work out well. Okay. Like I liked that, you know, how hand appeared, but with the opening action, it just didn't work out and branding disappeared. Okay. This didn't really work out, but I'm happy, guys, we tried this. Probably we need multiple rerolls here. I simplified the prompt a little bit. With static camera, hand opens the jar. Only the opening part is visible. So I got rid of the other complex action. And let's see how this will work out. Okay, it's just the hand opening the jar thing. It's just not working. I don't know. It's kind of, the hand is shrinking the jar. This is not what we want. And I think this physics here is just not working. So we can also use images we created with models wearing our merchandise and we can make videos out of them. For example, here I used the prompt natural movement and created this video out of the image. Another shot with natural movement. We have our model is looking at the camera. And last one is she's smiling while talking. So we can use these shots also in our product advertising videos. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. We had many trials, errors, and successes. I hope you learned something from this. And if you learned something, please like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. I would highly appreciate. And if you want to learn more, you can click on the next video. See you next time.